Hi, I'm Tucker Thompson, and welcome back to this third day of the Rolex Big Boat Series here in San Francisco, California. And it was forecast to be light this morning, but as you can see, the breeze is already blowing through the Golden Gate Bridge at over 20 knots, which means we could be in for an exciting day. These are the conditions that San Francisco is known so well for as we prepare for today's first race. On the city front course are the J120s up first. A big line has them all even. The ebb tide is just getting ready to get ramped up as well, which should throw big waves into the mix. The Express 37s are late to the line, but still a good start spread across the fleet. Here at the pin end is Connie Richards' Golden Moon, currently leading the division. Much like the last start, an unusual way to approach the line. The J105s are back quite a bit on the pin end of the line. There was the gun, and definitely some boats well over at the committee boat end. No surprise, that was a general recall. With the I flag up, the fleet heads back to the line for the second time. There was the gun, and this time, it's all clear. It doesn't matter what type of boat you sail today, the big breeze is going to be hard for everyone to handle. Big work for the bowman aboard Sophia. To windward of the San Francisco-Oakland Bay Bridge, the fleet continues left inshore. Just off the city front, it's Mojo off to an early lead. Scratch that, it's Wayano. Under the foggy shadow of the Golden Gate Bridge, the J120s make their way downwind. Mr. Magoo, the green boat, looks solid, well in the lead. All of this fleet heads out into the middle of the bay downwind in a solid breeze. Some a bit more under control than others. A big wipeout after what was an attempted jibe. Under the Palace of Fine Arts and just off of the Golden Gate Yacht Club is a two-way battle in the Express 37s between Golden Moon to windward of Blade Runner. The breeze is really increasing against the tide here as the Express 37s weave their way through the J105. At the leeward mark, it's Blade Runner ahead, but lots of trouble aboard. They've lost the jib sheet. It has gotten colder, cloudier, and even windier, if you can believe it, as the J105s pound their way against the tide or with the tide rather, to the top mark. At the top mark, it's Donkey Jack, who's played the Beat the Best, rounding in first place in the J105s. You can feel the tension on the crew. You can hear the loud sails snapping in the breeze. This is tough stuff to get the kites up. Not everyone's able to get around the mark without trouble. One hits the Rolex windward mark and is going to have to spin. Big puffs of breeze come down and find the fleet. Some find the edge when trying to jibe. Tough stuff. It is definitely hairy for the trimmers who are trying to keep control of those kites. Whoa! Nervous moment for jam session, trying to get that jibe in. With the main boom over, and this kind of breeze is squirrely. Upwind in the J120s, it is still Mr. Magoo's race. You can hear cheers coming from the crew. These conditions are definitely worth the price of admission as the 105s blast downwind. Donkey Jack still maintains their lead here at the leeward mark, but big trouble trying to wrestle that red spinnaker to windward and down. The lead could be changing right here. And it is. That was Arbitrage now in the lead. The game is very close in the J120s and a bit hairy as well. Port starboard, bow to bow, heading to the finish. It's chance to leeward. Mr. Magoo just pulls off a jibe. It's nice. Now they're to windward. The finish line, only 10 lengths to go. Wave for wave, these two have been trading places. Who's gonna get it? Chance to leeward, Mr. Magoo to windward. Chance looks like they're just gonna be able to squeak this one out at the pin end and take victory from Magoo. And in the J105s, Bruce Stone has managed to hold on to the lead. He takes the gun. And so as the day continues to go on, the breeze builds even more. So much so that for the start of the next race, some boats have reefed their mains. It's a subdued fleet that slowly approaches the line, except for one fight at the committee boat end. Aquila squeezes in there, and that is the biggest boat with the gutsiest move of the start. Race 2 for IRCA is off. The fleet heads to the city front except for Aquila. And finally, IRCC starting next, and Double Troubles leading the division. Downwind, the top boats in IRCA are flying. It is Vesper out in front. 22, 23 knots to windward at Vesper, and they are just flying. All the crew sitting as far back in the boat as they can on a full plane. Equally exhilarating is mayhem to windward. Man, this is San Francisco sailing at its best. Behind them, it's power play, cutting it close to Alcatraz. Looks like IRCB, I believe, has finally worked their way into the fray. On their way upwind, actually that's the J120s pounding upwind. Looks like fun. That was IRCD battling some of the toughest waves we've seen all day, and Dainu is leading the division. At the top mark, it is still Dainu in control of IRCD. About 40 seconds behind them, the rest of the fleet looked pretty stacked up together as they buck the tide. A bear wave for some, others a jibe set right at the mark. Vesper's lead has been wire to wire so far in IRCA as they roll into the set. It's a solid performance for Vesper as they take line honors in IRCA. Well, today was definitely a day to decide the front runners from the rest of the fleet and set the stage for one final day of racing tomorrow. And for many, a brand new Rolex timepiece is on the line. Until then, I'm Tucker Thompson. We'll see you tomorrow.